Good morning. We're working on some wiring stuff for the sprayer, the same project we've been working on yesterday, getting our MTG mounted. I've got it mounted to my plate here. That is great. So we got to go up and set this in next to the seat and drill some holes for to screw to the side there to mount that. I got those fuses and terminals crimped on that I needed to, that I was doing last night there. So that's ready to go in. We can start putting our cab back together, I guess. So we found this power block here yesterday, and makes it a perfect spot to draw power for this MTG that's going to sit right down here on the floor. So we've got a ground post, constant power, and the keyed power, and so I've got all those hooked up to the right spot. We also put a ground screw to the frame there, and I'm ready to put that side panel back in and cover that up, and then we can I don't know what we can do then. Put the floor mat back in, because we got to get that MTG mounted down there along the seat and get that in position, I think, before we got one more cable that's got to run around the back over to our display over there. So before we put too much stuff back together, I want to get that in place. Well, I called an audible a little bit on mounting this. I decided not to drill through there and do it because, well, there's really no reason to. I should have bent that angle down and just set it right on this floor mat, but I was trying to match what I saw in the pictures from the bracket that you can get. So I got one more cable to hook up underneath there. Everything else is done. I got the back panel all put back together. We've got the wire run up there and even connected to the display. Floor mat's back in. Headliner's all back together. So inside the cab, we're basically done, other than hooking up that one last cable. But we got to do the cap and the stuff outside yet. So here's our cap that we took off the top of the roof to get that antenna in there. We're done with the antenna. Everything is in place. We just need to put this back on, but I can't do it. I just can't do it with it looking like this. And I know nobody can see it, but yesterday we welded this crack up. It is together and sealed from the backside, but it's still cracked on this side. So I think I'm actually going to weld from this side as well, try and get some more rods stuffed down into that crack. And then we're going to take it outside. We're going to power wash the heck out of it and try and chip off as much of this loose flaky paint as possible. We're going to see what it looks like at that point. If I need to, I might hit it with some sandpaper and sand it off. But we're going to paint this, and we're not going to go crazy, but we're going to make it look halfway decent, I guess. So I don't really have time for this or want to do this, but I can't put it up there looking like that. Oh, it's not pretty, but it's better. Filled in that crack. We can sand it a little smoother and paint it, and it won't be so noticeable. All right, we need a power wash. But before we do that, I'm gonna procrastinate, because that's what I do. We're gonna go out and see what Dad's working on. We got some stone hauled in yesterday, some more fill for in the barn back here. He was surveying and putting some fill stone in there, I think. So let's go see. Well, there's a little stone pile. Let's see how he's doing out here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he got the doors open and everything. Got his laser set up in there. Looks good. Dad wants this tractor outside so that he can work in here a little bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. He's got the floor, the fill about where we need it for the bottom of the floor height over there, but behind the planter in the back corner over there, we're still a foot short. So gonna need quite a bit of stone in here yet. I think we're gonna probably get a couple more loads ordered. So we'll get there. The concrete guys acted like they might come tomorrow, which I would be really surprised by, but that'd be awesome. Back to this project. So I'm trying to wash this rather aggressively so that any paint that is loose and flaking comes off. Kind of like you're seeing right there. Because I would rather get it off now before we paint it, and then have it chip off after I paint it and take the new paint with it. All right, I brought this in, stood it up there. We gotta let it dry off a little bit, but I want to sand it down, especially here. I've already started a little bit. Just try and smooth out that plastic that we added a little bit. We're not gonna get it perfect, but it'll be a little better than it was. And then we're gonna rough it up. Now I think that this darker green color here, or whatever color you want to call that, bluish, I think that that's actually a primer and not bare plastic, because the underside or the rest of it, like if you look in there, is black. The plastic is actually black. So while I was contemplating how am I going to get the new paint to stick to the plastic, and do I need a plastic adhesion product, so whatever, I don't actually think we have to stick it to plastic. I think we need to stick it to paint, and that's why I'm gonna rough it up with some sandpaper, smooth it off a little bit where it's weather cracked like those areas, and then we'll clean it up and we'll spray some John Deere green on there. I better look and make sure I have some John Deere green. I can probably still get a parts run delivery in today if I need to. We've got paint. It's even still liquid. We'll be good, but we're not ready for that yet. Well, I've got it all sanded down. We got all the loose paint off. I blew all the dust off, and I need to wipe it down yet because, well, my hands aren't real clean, but there's still some dust on there. So we'll get a tack cloth or something and wipe it down. I hung it from our hoist so that I can spray it nice and good, and I'm getting the paint ready. I'm going all out here. We're getting the spray gun out. We've got the paint, we've got the thinner, we've got the hardener. I gotta go get my mask. We got it all. So let's do it right.
Okay, I got my paint mixed up. I think that'll be enough. There's not a whole lot of here, so it shouldn't take that much paint. We put in a little bit of hardener, we put in a little bit of reducer, thinner. I'm gonna pour it in our gun. I don't have any strainers, so tough, it'll be fine. And let's go spray it. That'll work. That'll work. Not bad. Looks fantastic. So, we're going to let that dry. We may or may not hit it with another coat. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Now we need to paint the rest of the sprayer. No, we're not doing that. Anyway, yeah, we'll let that dry. It's not lunchtime yet, but it's getting close. I'll clean up my gun and the paint stuff. Unplug this so it's not leaking.
Well, I went and got some lunch. Decided to come down here to the seed warehouse and work a little bit. I kicked that heater on just because it's a little chilly in here and I'm cold. But it's in the 50s. It's not terrible. We're going to take care of the beans that we treated the last time, dump them back into the boxes they came out of, and then I was looking at those two rows there. There is 22 boxes worth in there that we can treat that are ready to go. So we might get started on that here this afternoon. Okay. All of those, the 2 high row, are treated, done, ready to be moved out of here. I've got 4 boxes ready for the first run that we're going to do today. Those 4 boxes are the same variety as these, but we're going to set those off to the side to use the heads up on later. This next variety that's in this row is also going to get some of them with heads up, some of them without. So we'll do the ones without, we'll set the other ones off to the side, and then I don't know, there might be another variety back in there, but we should be able to clear out that row and be able to put his treated beans right back where they came out of and not bury any untreated ones in there. So that's the plan. I'm kind of getting stuff set up and ready to go here, but Dad and I have a meeting at 2 o'clock we have to go to, so I'm not going to start treating until I get back from that. I will explain when I get back. So we're getting ready here, and they gave me this cool little pry tool. I used to cut these off with side cut pliers, but this is better. So we got to get all these little tabs out that hold the lids on, right? And they're a pain in the butt. I hate them, but this makes it a little more fun. So you get them, and then they. Oh, that one didn't fly. Usually they fly up in the air, and then you can try and catch them. Okay, dang it! Now it's not going to do it. That's a good one. That's what you want to happen, where it pulls the bottom out with it. All right. Make a liar out of me. The last ones went flying clear up in the air, and then you try and catch them, and it's a good time. But my boys, they love picking all these little blue things up off the floor. I mean, they did last year. Oh, there. Haha, I got it. At least they loved it last year, so we'll let them come out and keep doing it. Look at that. These beans are big. That box is fuller than the other ones have been. 2,339 seeds per pound. Those are pretty big beans, so that's good. They'll treat well. Bigger beans tend to not be as wet. They dry better. I don't know why they do. All right, so Dad and I are on our way to this meeting. Dad, what is this meeting about?
About drainage petition to do some work on the river.
Right, so St. Joe River runs through a lot of our farms. It's one we irrigate out of, do other stuff. And
Right township petitioned it.
They petitioned it to do something. We don't really know what. We're going to find out at this meeting.
And I guarantee you there's a lot of people here already.
It would appear that way. Well, anyway, they're going to raise property taxes is what's going to happen if whatever they do goes through, or they decide to do it. And so this is their public meeting informational deal where people get to complain and tell them why it needs to happen or why they don't want them to do it. So, it's going to be fun. So this meeting is at our high school, and there is about 20 kids in this school that can drive a vehicle, and they don't drive those trucks, so there's a lot of people here. It's a little dry, boring.
Is going to prevent soil erosion
It's getting more
and
exciting.
washing away our valuable resource of soil.
Red is not necessary, conducive for public health, convenience, and welfare. It's been seconded. Discussion. Favor of it is not. Aye. Aye. Those opposed? Aye. So the motion carries, and that the petition is not deemed necessary and conducive to public health, convenience, and welfare.
The two guys didn't want nothing to do with it.
Well, that was interesting.
I'm not going to get tarred and feathered.
So, yeah, I know that was, you didn't get any of that out of what I filmed there, but basically, the ditch, or the river there, they want to control some of the erosion, dip out some of the sediment and log jams and that kind of stuff. And well, public consensus is major public opinion, I guess, is that until Ohio does something, because all this water flows south and crosses into Ohio, they don't want to do it. And that was pretty much what everybody had to say. And so it got voted down. So they're not going to do anything, and now nothing will get done. And well, that was 2 hours that kind of wasted there a little bit, but it was interesting. Just, yeah, I mean, people complained for legitimate reasons. A lot of it was people saying that, you know, they've got a swamp in their backyard and they want to know why it's not fixed, and they're 30 miles, well, not 30 miles, but they're 15 miles from where this river that they're talking about cleaning out is, but they're within the watershed, which is why they're there. Anyway, it was a long deal. It ended up getting voted down because Ohio needs to fix their side of it. Well, that was the big negative from a public comment standpoint, was that the water gets to the state line and Ohio doesn't do any maintenance, and so then it just backs up on us. And we got those fields right on the state line. Like, those are fields that we have. That's where it floods the worst. That triangle field that I show you, that's got water on it 6 months of the year because it's low ground, and it is what it is. So yeah, Ohio fixing their side of it would be great, but they don't have a whole lot of incentive to do so, I guess. And I don't know. There was something else I was going to say about it. The other thing, the reason that this whole project got started was because Wright Township, our township, petitioned it. They started the process, and this was the public comment period to determine whether it was necessary or not. And no representative from the township showed up to speak in favor of the project. Like, if you're gonna try and get something started and then don't actually show up to the meeting, it makes it really hard to prove your point. And that was one of the reasons. There's 3 people on the board. One of the reasons the one guy voted no was because nobody from Wright Township showed up in support. And so it was 2-1 in favor of not doing the project. Bummer. Now it's 4 o'clock and I haven't treated any beans yet. So we're gonna get these 4 done, and then I'm gonna look and see how many of the next variety. I'll probably mix up enough to do both, and we'll try and get, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 boxes through today yet. Okay, we've got a lot of chemical mixed up in there. What do we got? 6, 7 gallons, something like that. We got some water in there, just rinse water. We'll add more as we need it. That's just water. I think we're ready to go. We got a batch of 4 and a batch of 5. So I've got the chemical in there for both because they're getting the same treatment. The only thing that changes is the water rate. We'll hit our start setup here and change the variety. There we go, to 3582. And we should be good. Hit start. And I believe, oh no, we gotta change this to process, change this to process, and open our box. Oh, that's a big zip tie. I don't know if I can break that one. Usually I can break them. Got it. Open the gate, and now they're flowing. They should come out orange. Maybe just a few at the beginning that aren't real orange. Oh, pretty good. Cool, cool, cool. Much bigger beans. They're going to look a little bit different, just in how it covers and the deepness of the color, I guess. But yeah, we're good. Working on our second box now. Put my sticker on for my treatment of what we're putting on there. And I went ahead and put an orange sticker on there since this customer has a huge amount of boxes. I'm gonna just put an orange sticker on all of them, or a sticker, so that we can differentiate them and know who they're for without me having to label every one of them and write their name on them. So while this is running here, I wanted to talk about, on my last video of treating beans, a couple of you made comments or sent me emails telling me to go check out Ryan from How Farms Work and his YouTube video on seed treating that he just posted a couple of days ago. Go ahead and watched it, and yeah, same process. They're doing the same thing. They're even using the same chemical that I am. They're not putting in the yellow colorant, obviously. They're just red. They're not adding the extra fungicide like I am. But they were using an inoculant, a different inoculant, but it's still an inoculant. And they were adding some Seltzer, which I had used in the past and didn't see the benefit of, so I didn't get any this year. I replaced it with that Heads Up. This setup here cost a fraction of what theirs did. They accomplished the same thing. No doubt theirs is more efficient and faster and easier to use. But we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same quality job. Those keg stands that they had, those Lawson weight keg stands that I counted 6 of, those were probably $10,000 to $15,000 each. And well, mine was considerably less than what all of those are worth. And I would guess into that system in general, being brand new, as nice a system as it is, they probably got at least $250,000 into it. I do not. And that setup is great, and it works really, really well, but you have to run a lot of beans through it in order to justify that. I don't treat that many beans, and so I can't justify that. That said, this system works fantastic for what I am doing. If I was trying to treat double what I am, then we got to talk about either a second one or something that's a little bit faster. And it's not the speed in which the beans are moving through that treater. It's the taking the time to move that box over to there, take the forklift back, get that box down, put it under, grab another full one, put it up there. That's what takes time. And I can speed that up with a second person, second forklift. But an automated system, especially with bulk tanks outside, would do a lot of that work as well. Because like on theirs, they can be filling their pre-hopper while they're moving the box that they just filled, and everything can be going at once, and it, yeah. Anyway, point being, that system is great. it's very, very expensive. It does the same job, and I would argue at the same quality, although I do have to mix my chemicals by hand. I'm measuring them out with a jug. Theirs is all automated, loss and weight straight out of the keg, so that's a really nice system. Yeah, it was cool. I should mention their actual treater part is a little bit faster. They were running at 1,200 pounds per minute. I don't know if that's all their system was capable or if there was the ability to run it faster. This one here will do 800 pounds per minute instead of 1,200. So I am running it at about 700 pounds per minute. I could turn it up. I don't know why. That's just where it was set. And yeah, so it's theirs is a little bit faster as far as how fast it's going to treat a box of beans or something, but not by a huge amount. And like I said, just unable to justify a system like that for myself. Back when I first started selling seed, or a couple years into it, I had strongly considered putting a bulk site in. In fact, that's what I built the lean-to over there for, was to separate my treater from the rest of my seed storage and be able to treat beans, bring them in from bulk tanks that I would set outside, have the conveyors and a drum style treater like that and everything. But I don't sell enough seed to justify that. So this is what I've got. Last box of the day, and when you can just see that blade of the agitator on the last box, that's how you know you're in the right spot. So we're gonna have just about perfect right amount of chemical in there, which, I mean, we're supposed to. I measured it out, I calculated it, it's right. But I always like to keep an eye on it at the last box, just in case, because if it runs empty, it will shut everything down, and then you gotta start it back up, and it's a pain. So we try and make sure that it's just right, and if we need to, we dump just a little bit more in there. Okay, done. We got 9 boxes done. Can you tell the seed size difference on those first 4 boxes versus the last ones here? And how much more they heap up? Like that one's because I didn't shake it down that it's taller than the other ones, but you can see it versus these that are way down in the box. That's seed size. There's the same number of beans in all those boxes. But anyway, it's a little after 5:30, so we did all that in about an hour and a half an hour of it was me getting set up and mixing chemicals and everything. So you can see we can move some beans through in a hurry if we need to. That's 360 units of beans. I mean, 1,000 units in a day is not hard to do if you just keep at it. So tomorrow we're gonna try and do some more from that next column over there. We'll get these ones put back, and the rest of those are all getting the same treatment. It can be done. I've got some shipments coming in next week. I'm really hoping to get the rest of this guy's beans so I can treat them all, because I just want to get them done. He can come and get them out of here, but I don't have them all yet. Brock is coming as well. We're gonna have him help me get that cap back on the sprayer so that project is done, and we'll have to get it outside so we can get a cell signal and make sure that everything is working from the, that it's actually working, but it's installed anyway, that MTG. So that's good. Sorry, turn my heat off here. What else are we gonna do tomorrow? We're gonna treat beans, and that one big long row of corn, the tall one over there, that's all ours. It needs to go down to the farm, so I'm gonna have Brock transfer that, assuming it's not raining. But yeah, that's the plan. So we're gonna go back down to the farm, see what Dad's up to, see if I can. I'm gonna put that tractor back in overnight for tonight, but they might come tomorrow to start on our concrete, so we're gonna have to find somewhere else to put that. Dad got our stone pile used up and actually brought another one, and he used that up, and check it out, we're getting closer here. Still low in that corner, but yeah, this looks good. He's got the doors open, cleaning up in there. Oh no, our hood got sprinkled on and now there's water spots on it. Bummer. That's okay, it's gonna get dirty. We're gonna take it to the field eventually. I'm antsy. I want to get this tractor in the field and use it. Like, I'm ready. The ground and the fields are not, and it's a bummer. All right, well, we got stuff put in after a brief planning session on lighting and electrical and what we're gonna do out there and stuff. We're making a plan, and I'm going home. So thanks for watching today. Questions, comments, leave them down below, and hit that subscribe button for me. Like the video, appreciate that. See you guys tomorrow.